Hi, my name is Sharon Nixon, and I'm the founder and lead producer for Baltimore Fashion Week. And today I'm here because we have been afforded a 30-minute spotlight courtesy of Pittsburgh Fashion Week. So let's get started. Hey, Pittsburgh! Baltimore Fashion Week, a 30-minute spotlight. Baltimore Fashion Week was first born with its first season in 2008. In 2010, we celebrated our 10th season, and next year we'll be celebrating our 13th and 14th season. Baltimore Fashion Week is an annual fundraising event of the Fashion Umbrella Foundation that provides an educational and marketing platform for creatives representing the fashion and arts community. Now let's meet two of the creatives that we'll be showcasing next year. The first person up to the plate is Abigail Lordson-Banini, label Lordson-Banini. Next, we have Reginald Wilson, label VINCENT. The topic for tonight will be youth education and the arts through fashion. So I have a few questions, but first, before I ask those questions, let's meet the designers or the creatives. Hi guys, how are you?
Hi.
So as you see, we have Reginald Wilson representing the label LaVincent, and then we have Abigail Lordson-Banini representing the label Lordson-Banini. So I have a few questions for you all, and you all know how I do. So let's get started. We all know the current state of the world right now, so I won't dwell on that. But how have you been instrumental in keeping your talents and business fruitful? Whoever wants to go first, just step up to the plate.
Abigail?
With everything that's been going on in this season, I decided to actually use this season to put in more work into being more creative, into building the brand. The business side of it also kind of put more time into that because right now, you don't see a lot of people going out and putting on the fancy outfits. So this is the time that I'm like, okay, I need to put in that effort so that by the time everything, the world is open up, then we are ready to run and go. You're muted.
You're muted.
Hi, I was muted, yes. So that's true for everyone who is dealing with this current pandemic. But LaVincent or Reginald, I'm gonna call you Reginald.
That's fine.
You want to tell us a little bit of how that has, if it has at all, affected your business?
In the respect that production moved a lot faster because I have a stockpile of fabric that what I do is I go to the fabric store and I buy fabrics that I like and I stockpile fabrics. So during the pandemic, when the kids were home and they were doing their own thing, I was in my atelier designing, sewing, working day in and day out. Sometimes I'd turn out 2 garments a day because I didn't have a schedule that I had to adhere to. Like, okay, we had breakfast at this time. I had to get those kids to school. I had to go to the grocery store. I had to go pick them up from school. I didn't have any of those constraints. So I had a big chunk of time to really be creative and express myself through my designs. So actually, in a way, it kind of really helped me to grow my collections and experience, design from a start to finish without having to stop in the middle of a design and go pick up kids from school.
Well, it seems like that you have your hands full with children at home. And I know with Abigail, she's back in school. And that's, well, y'all know that I'm over here dealing with Fashion Week. So with the two of you, I'm just so grateful that you were able to give us just a little bit of your time tonight to be a part of this platform. So I have my second question that I like to present to you. As a creative and trendsetter, of style, what is the most important business tool you use to keep your clients engaged and to attract new ones?
Ladies first.
I would say social media, but I haven't been very active on social media because I've been more into the creative. But it's more so of word of mouth and designing for friends, and also wearing my own outfit, like my own design out when I go to events. That's how I get people talking, like, "Oh, this is beautiful. Who made it? I made it myself. I'm a designer." Then that's where the conversation starts. So it's for me, it's more so of word of mouth, but I'm working towards using social media more because now the world is like literally on social media. So we want to get out there to the world. So we are becoming very more active now on social media.
And Reginald, I'll pose the same question. Do you need me to repeat it or are you
No,
good?
no, no, no. I'm good. So, like Abigail said, social media is my main source of getting my brand out there and getting my name out there and getting my designs out there. I have a platform. It's called Next Door, and what it is it's a community based social interactive platform that allows me to create videos. And what I do is I create videos on how to drape and how to construct and give them little tips and clues here to kind of keep them engaged. I also like to add a little humor in there. And they absolutely love that. And actually, when I started 2 years ago, I started with a following of 5. And now I have 1,000 of my neighbors in this area who actually follow and comment. And when they see me out in public, they're like, "That's Reggie. Hey, from Designing with Reggie." So, and they approach me in the fabric store and they have questions. They ask me questions and troubleshooting. And I always say, Sharon, I talk to you quite a bit. And my philosophy is, design is 25% of your work, and troubleshooting and problem solving is 75% of your work. And what I mean by that is how are you going to construct this? What steps are you going to do to complete your finished product? And that's what I do with my viewers. I take them through these processes so they can understand, oh, okay, this is why he did this first and not last. So I've got a really huge response from that platform.
That's really good.
So we're going to shift a little bit here. So Abigail, how does with Red? Would you like to bounce off a little bit about what Reggie just said?
Yeah, what he said is very valid. Like, there's one thing I've learned is like the way you sew garments also depends on the finishing of the garments, depend on how you start it. When you start it the wrong way, finishing it will become a bit difficult. So like, just like you said, 25% is just the design. And the 75% is more so of how you're going to sew it so that when it come out, it looks like luxury. It looks expensive. So yeah, I agree with that. And most of the time when I'm sewing, before I even touch the sewing machine, I've already sewn it in my head, or what the first step, the next step before I even touch the fabric.
So Reginald, do you do the same thing? I can sew, I know how to sew, keep something together, but it's not on the level of you two. So when you first started your creative pathway into the universe, how hard was it for you to actually begin that pathway? And then when you started, did you think you made a mistake?
Never. I never thought I made a mistake. And I've always dreamed of becoming a fashion designer. It's always been in me. And where I am in my career, where I am in my construction, I should have been doing this, and the products that I'm turning out, I should have been doing this for at least 20 years. because the things that I complete, and I stand back and I look and I'm going, how did I do this? How am I able to do this with no formal instruction? You know, and it's a God-given gift. And I believe that God touches me, he touches my hands, and he guides my hands. And I had a viewer from next door who said she likes to watch my draping videos because it's like a conductor conducting an orchestra. She said my hands move so smoothly across the muslin, and using the pens and markings and making my notes on the drape. She said it is just, she enjoys watching the draping aspect more so than the construction part, because she's like, how is he getting this fabric to do this? Mm-hmm. And it's a God-given talent. And I really do believe that I was always meant to do this. I just didn't have a platform or the support or the encouragement to do this, because like a little black boy growing up in the South, Sharon, you know, a little black boy in fashion, that's a no-no, especially in a small town in Mississippi. So that was always on the back burner, but it's always been in me. And I want to take a little bit more time, Sharon, and explain something to you. As a black man from the South who loves fried chicken, who loves fried pork chop, who loves ribs, who loves collard greens, who loves fried okra, who loves fried green tomatoes. I have high blood pressure, and I have, hypertension, and I have my stress level is always through the roof. And I think I mentioned this to you a couple of months ago. I went to my doctor, and we're about to take me off of my blood pressure medicine because my blood pressure is so low. And her response was, this is what was in you that was trying to get out, and you didn't let it get out. So this is a way for you to release all the stressors in your life. And she said, you had this bottled up inside of you for so long, it was time for it to burst out. And I have to attest designing to that, because she is right, because she couldn't come up with a rational explanation why I went from extremely, almost hospitalization for high blood pressure to, low blood pressure, where she has to take me off of my medication. And she says the only thing that she can see that has changed in my life is the fact that I've started fashion design. And she said she can pinpoint the exact time, which is amazing. I mean, think about that. She can pinpoint the exact time that I started really engaging in fashion design, because that's when my blood pressure took a plunge. Oh, and wow. She was like, that is amazing. So it's kind of like my yoga.
So Abigail, do you have a blog as well?
A blog? I don't have a blog yet. I've been thinking about starting either like a YouTube channel or like a what's it called? Like a virtual school where I can teach how to go and design. So I'm working on that. I don't want to add that to my plate right now. So
it's a lot of work. Trust me.
Yes, it is. I want to get one thing off before I add one more. So yeah.
So now I have another question I like to pose. Most creatives tend to follow the same style aesthetic. Explain to our viewers your creative aesthetic and if you alter them.
For me, I feel like my aesthetic is more so of comfort, classy, and also sexy. It's the mix of all three. Where I want something that will always look beautiful and sexy on my client, but at the same time, I want them to feel comfortable. So if it doesn't feel comfortable, then we're not doing it. But if you're going to be comfortable in what we are making, then yes. It's more, I don't have like a specific style yet that will say, okay, I see this style and this is how Lordson-Banini. but we are getting there. Right now, it's just more so of the client feeling comfortable, sexy, and beautiful.
I like
So,
that.
Reginald, do you have, and then I know, and let me, before you respond, Reginald, I think that it's important as a creative that you are able to be versatile in your design aesthetic.
Right.
Um, I think that if you just stay within this one box, that you limit yourself for open areas of creativity and also to bring in new clients per se. Reginald, would you like to respond to that?
I do, Sharon, and I'm so glad that you posed that question.
Right.
And because that is a very important question, because when you see design shows, one of my biggest pet peeve is people are asking, well, who's your client?
Mhm.
Who are you designing for?
Mhm.
Well, do I have to have a specific person or type of person that I'm designing for? No, because that person is one, maybe two or three people who come into the store, and those are the only people that are going to buy your garments. So
Right.
you have to have a range of aesthetics. Now, when you talk about aesthetics and you ask, what is your aesthetic? My aesthetic is Southern fare with a modern flair. And what that means is I'm a Southern boy. And my inspiration and my drive comes from growing up in the church, seeing my mother get dressed for church, seeing her put on her suits and her hats and her jewelry and putting her shoes on, and how she chose to mix and match different things. It came from my sisters. I have four sisters. Robbie Bowman, who's the sister that I'm as closest to because she's as close to me in my age, we kind of grew up together, and I can remember her wearing high heeled shoes to high school, and me thinking, okay. I mean, she was always into fashion. She always wanted to look good. She always wore hose. She always wore heels. If she was going out, she was wearing high heels, period. No ifs, no ands, no buts about it. But the interesting thing about my design aesthetic, I say Southern fare with the modern flair. This is what a lot of people don't realize. A lot of the Southern women from the South, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida is not really considered South, but it is. Louisiana, Texas, a lot of those silhouettes and fashion influences come from the South. And what they do is they take it and they modernize it and make it young, fresh, and hip for what decade it is, which is what I love to do. And my signature, of course, you know, I love drama in fashion, drama, drama, drama. I love a big voluminous sleeve.
Yeah.
I love a big skirt. I love big collars and big shawl collars and big lapels. I love those things. And those are actually straight out of the 70s. You know, the big wide lapels, the big sleeves, um, the big skirts come, you know, from the South, all of those things. But there's a way that you can take it and adapt it to different types of people, different types of women. You know, you can take a basic silhouette and come up with 4 or 5 different looks that are completely different, that appeals to the masses.
Right. And that's true. You have to be able to diversify, and diversify equals quantification of your collection, so that as a creative, you can remain vibrant during any time, not just the current situation we're in, but anytime. So I have one more question, and then we're going to talk about the lovely garments behind you. I'm so
Me
excited.
too.
So
Me too.
here is your final question, boys and girls.
Mhm.
If you were able to sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with your younger self at the age of 17, what
Mhm.
would you discuss? And Reginald, I'm gonna we're going to have you to answer first, and then Abigail, you'll be next.
Okay.
Do it. Do it. Forget what everybody else says. Do it. Pursue your dream. And don't stop until you get there. And that's my advice. Do it.
Abigail? Well, no, there's anything else left for anyone else to say.
Right. If I should be sitting with my 17-year-old self, I'll say, take some time and figure it out. Take some time to figure out what you really want, what you're really passionate about, and then go for it. And don't look back. Don't try to please people, because no matter what you do, no one will be satisfied. But just make sure you're fulfilled and you're happy. That's it.
Oh my God, it's so true. Yes, Reginald, you have your hand raised.
It has taken me, I am 49 years old next month. And I started my career 2 years ago.
It's never too late.
And what's coming out of my hands,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's in me. And you ask, what would you say to your 17-year-old self? And I said, do it. Do it. Don't let nothing stand in your way. Do it. And I don't mean to break down, but it's because of my husband. It's because of the Umbrella Foundation that I'm able to sit here and say, I'm doing it.
Right.
I'm doing it. And it's been in me. And I want to thank the Fashion Umbrella Foundation. I want to thank Baltimore Fashion Week for giving me the platform to be able to voice my opinion and show my vision of who I am as a person and as an individual, and that I do matter. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. I do matter. I do have a voice in this world. I have a voice in this industry. And it's because of the Umbrella Foundation that I have that voice now.
Right.
And people are standing up and taking note of that. They're going, wait a minute. What? Yes, it's because of the Fashion Umbrella Foundation that I'm allowed to have a platform. And I thank the Fashion Umbrella Foundation and Baltimore Fashion Week for not just nudging me into this industry, but pushing me over the edge and say, you're going to either sink or swim. And I swam. And I thank you for that. Sorry. I felt it needed to be said.
Well, not really that.
Just to add on.
I will push you. Yes.
Did I make you cry?
A little bit, because it just took me back. What I will add on to that is, don't be afraid to do it, because for a long time, I started this since 2014, right? But I started off with like making peplums and all of that, where I was doing fashion shows with some other designers, and they were urging me, go ahead and start making garments. But I was so scared of like doing the wrong thing that it kept me back. I should have probably known, if not in the whole of Baltimore already, because the people that I started with are well known even across the whole US. And it was that fear of not getting it right that has kept me back. But with the COVID and everything going on, I just asked myself, if I should die today, what am I leaving behind? Am I dying with my gift, or I'm leaving it for the world? So that's one thing actually that has pushed me to get out of my fear and then do it. So yes, don't be afraid. Just get up, do it, and don't look back.
Abigail, you're not going to get it right all the time. I don't get it right all the time.
Right.
I've torn up more garments than I've made.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it right. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you learn.
Right.
By not getting it right,
Mm-hmm.
by making mistakes, you know what not to do now.
Right.
So embrace those mistakes, because that's how you grow as not just a designer, but as a person,
Right.
professionally, and personally, and as an artist.
Right.
You have to make those mistakes to grow.
And sometimes those mistakes actually make a beautiful garment.
It does. And you turn out and say, I didn't mean to do that. How did that? Now, if I tried to do that, it wouldn't have done that.
Well, it wouldn't do that. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
You too. I can't. I can't, and I will not. Okay.
And we just met today.
He's a storyteller, people. Don't believe him. So, Abigail, let's talk about the garment behind you in the few minutes that we have left.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring it closer to the camera?
Ready? Okay. So
I love this dress. I want it in a size 14.
No worries, I got you.
And thank you. Plus size producer here. Please and thank you. Okay.
No problem.
And proud of it.
Yeah. This is one of my looks for my new collection coming out, the Genesis collection. The inspiration was more so of gowns that you can wear on the red carpet, you can wear as a reception, wedding reception outfit, to those big events when COVID is gone. So that was my inspiration, and I like the volume in the bottom, always trying to show up the woman figure. So that tells the hip, and the top here. I use this blue chiffon fabric because when you look closely in the fabric, it has a blue in it.
Oh yeah.
And it's that same shade of blue that I got for this. Funny enough, I didn't even look at it when I ordered it. It came and I paired it. I was like, perfect. It's going together. So this is most of 99% done because I'm going to add something else to this side, which is on the way. And this is the back. It has a bit of a low back. This one when I said earlier that mine is more so sexy, comfortable, and classy. The whole body is covered, but you can see a bit of the back and a little bit of the front, which is around the shoulder. You're not showing too much. And you still look beautiful when you walk in. You meet it.
You did again. Okay.
Again.
Beautiful. I love it. Let me repeat myself. So, people, this is how things go in live TV. Reginald, you want to talk about your garment behind you?
Yes, I do. But before I do this, I need to preface it by saying that I'm self-taught and I study all the time. So right now I'm studying decades, and the decade that I'm studying is 1960s mod. So I really like this decade, and what I was trying to do is take the silhouettes and the ideas of mod, and we're going to walk over here so you can see what I'm talking about. In the 1960s, they dropped the waistline and they raised the hemline. And it's an asymmetrical, it's an A-line dress, if you can see. This is typical mod. Well, what I decided to do was to make two pieces. This is actually two pieces. This is a skirt. It has a zipper. It has a zipper on the side where she can get in it. And to bring it up to date, I added cutouts on the shoulder. I cut the shoulders out so it wouldn't literally read, I went to Salvation Army and saw this and had to have it. Not that that's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But I wanted it to read like you could walk into Macy's or Lord & Taylor and see this. And if you can see the top, it has a buckle right here. It's really fun. And this is the back. It's really cool. I love how it fits. So it's keeping in mind with the 1960s, the A-lines figure with the dropped waist, but the raised hem. And I just cut the shoulders out to make it a little bit youthful and wearable today.
I love the cold shoulder. Love
Thank you. I love a lady's shoulder. Speaking of shoulders, I
What?
just went out.
You just went to what?
No, you didn't. You're fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're fine. Am I muted? Okay, Lord Jesus.
There
Okay.
you go.
So this comes to the end of our 30-minute spotlight. Compliments of Pittsburgh Fashion Week. I'd like to thank Abigail Lordson-Banini, and she will be showcasing in August of 2021 here in Baltimore during Baltimore Fashion Week. And also VINCENT by Reginald Wilson. He will be showcasing in Baltimore Fashion Week in August, and during New York Fashion Week through the designer debut in September of 2021. So he's doing 2 collections. So kudos to that man right there. So my name my name is Sharon Nixon. I am the founder and lead producer for Baltimore Fashion Week. Again, I'd like to thank Pittsburgh Fashion Week for this opportunity, and I will see you on the runway. Take care.